My name is Rhapsody and welcome to Griftlands. Griftlands is a deck-building roguelike developed by Klei Entertainment set in a decaying sci-fi world where you pilot not one, but two different decks, a negotiation deck and a battle deck, each for their respective encounters. I would also like to mention off the top of this episode that this series is sponsored by Klei. Thank you very much to Klei for having done so. The game can be purchased from the link in the description down below. Let's jump into our first run. As we can see, there are three different characters here on the character select, one of which I currently have unlocked, another of which is available in the alpha build that I'm currently playing, and the third of which is currently still in development. Having just mentioned that this is the alpha build that I'm playing, I will also say that as a result of this being the alpha build, what you see in the series may not necessarily be reflective of the end polish, content, or balance of the game. So Derek is the name of the bounty hunter that we have here, and her mission is hunting Cascio. A bounty hunter with a chip on her shoulder and a glint in her eye, Sal escapes a life of servitude to claim the ultimate bounty and get her revenge. We can see here a little bit of a preview of the two different decks we're going to be piloting, the negotiation deck and the battle deck. It is not a choice between these two. You have both, and you will use one depending on the encounter that you happen to get into. There is a little bit of a cutscene at the start here, so I will shush up for a second myself and let you enjoy that.
You're a bounty hunter. You escaped a life of indentured labor by hunting criminals and debt dodgers. The work has earned you your freedom, if not any friends. Now you're back home, for the first time in 10 years. But freedom comes with its own dangers, and making a living in Havaria won't be easy. Here, the gangs are feral, the law enforcement are corrupt, and the people are treated like chattel. Indebted to merciless criminals. Criminals like Cascio, the ruthless debt broker who sold you to the Derricks in the first place. But now, Caccio's grip has weakened, and there's a bounty on her head too rich to ignore. You'll die before you go into debt again. Your first stop is a dive called the Groggendog, where an old friend will help you get your revenge, provided you can prove yourself.
At first sniff, the Groggendog smells like stale hops and dried blood. Well, look what the tide dredged up. Pfft, by the holy brine, I'd tear up if I wasn't dead inside. It's damn good to see you're doing quite well. You got a plan to get you back on your feet? I do. That bounty on Cascio, how do we... Forget it! You might have grown up strong, but you ain't that strong. But that's not gonna stop you from trying, is it? If you want a chance of surviving this, you better make yourself some friends fast. I can help you with that. Knew I could count on you, fish. She hauls out a flimsy old box, sodden with some stain or another, and invites you to look inside. Have a look in the lost and found, something's bound to be in your size. So you have three different choices here. We can upgrade a battle card, we can receive an amnesia tour, or a cranial incision. Okay, it's probably about the time that I should go over the anatomy of a card if we're about to choose to upgrade one. So this is our base battle deck. We have 2 copies of Elbow Strike, 4 copies of Feint, a Fight Dirty, a Sal's Daggers, and then 3 Stabs. So we can see here the kind of obvious normal anatomy of a card. We've got the action cost in the top left. We've got the damage inflicted directly next to it. Below that, you have obviously the card art, but here's the most important part on this, the card below that, the experience bar. Each time you play the card, you will give it 1 experience, and at the end of its experience bar, at the end of the battle where it reached full experience, you will have the ability to upgrade it. So let's have a look at the upgrade for this. So I have 2 different things. When this card levels up, it chooses from a random pool of cards. Okay, never mind. I cannot currently preview the selections, it looks like. So it pulls from a random pool. Okay, hang on. Yes, this one. Okay, so the previous one pulls from a random pool of different possible upgrades. We'll look at one with a much more obvious one. We have Boosted Fight Dirty, which changes improvise a card from a pool of special cards, which will show you, I believe, 3 cards, and improvise from a pool of 5 special cards in Boosted Fight Dirty, gives you more options, or Promoted Fight Dirty, which allows you to improvise a card from a pool of upgraded special cards. Alright, let's have a look at the anatomy of a couple of the other cards here. We have Feint, which applies 4 defense, Defense just prevents attack damage for the turn, as you might expect. We have Fight Dirty, which has the keyword Improvise. Improvisers choose cards from a random pool to be put into your hand. We have Sal's Daggers, where you can choose to insert either Hammer Grip or Saber Grip into your hand. Hammer Grip is zero actions to deal 3 damage. You gain 2 combo, and if you have 3 combo at the time, you can spend 3 combo to deal 3 bonus damage. Combo points are accumulated until they are spent by a finisher. Lose half of your combo whenever you take unmitigated damage. And then there's Saber Grip over there, which is also 0 actions, 2 damage, and applies 2 bleed. At the beginning of their turn, the enemy will take damage equal to the count of bleed and then halve the bleed count. Expend is also a keyword that's on each of them that says remove this card for the rest of the battle. And then finally, we have some stabs out here. The unique thing about these being that they have a damage range between 2 and 5. It will just be a random value between those 2 numbers that's inflicted. So we also have this card here, Amnesiator. The next card is played twice, then destroy it. Destroy after 1 use. So I destroy the card that will be played twice, as well as the Amnesiator after playing it once. Ooh. I don't know if I have any card that I'm going to want to play twice yet, you know, with the whole base deck kind of situation. We also have the ability to add a negotiation graft slot. The graft slots are effectively permanent bonuses that you can put into your character by grafting implants into yourself. So an extra slot just gives me the ability to hold an extra permanent bonus. I think I will take that rather than upgrade a battle card at the moment, because I kind of like trying to go heavy negotiate. So I'll take that. Now go get him. I'm going to ask you about some stuff to get a little bit of the lay of the land. Ask about Havaria. You can also hover over these tooltips to actually give you a little bit more information about the world. So Havaria is a largely unsettled continent on the western side of the Hessian Sea, which is the person I'm talking to here. Menawane is a former bounty hunter and current owner of the Grog and Dog. And then Cascio Tjarek is a powerful crime lord who earns her fortune in illegal debt brokerage. Let's ask about Havaria. Help me get my bearings. It's been a long time since I was last in Havaria. It's dirty and broken like always. If debt brokering was bad for you as a kid, it's worse now. Half the population's indentured. Them that hold the contracts sell them off to pay their own. No wonder customs was so uptight on my way back in. There must be a lot of fraud. That ain't the half of it. The Admiralty is pushing for an official annex. The Admiralty, the Deltrian Admiralty, the Deltrian military force occupying Murder Bay. They want to make everyone real Deltrian citizens with papers and everything. In Havaria? You're joking. They say it'll stop illegal debt brokering. Now anyone with a hand in labor contracts is real ornery, from the poor to the powerful. You can imagine the reaction. I can. Let's ask about the annex. The annex can't be a popular move. Most come here to get away from the Admiralty. It ain't. Both the Spree and Cult are in arms about it. Up in arms about it, rather. The Spree because they're criminals, and the Cult because they profit off the labor more than anyone. The Spree. The Spree is a loosely organized collection of bandits, crime rings, and illegal debt brokers. And the Cult is the dominant religion in Havaria, whose adherents worship Hesh, an abyssal jellyfish god. No need to tell me that. The Cult's holding a big shindig in a few days. The usual wheeling and dealing in the name of the divine. Word is the Admiralty is going to use it to make their proposition. Mandatory citizenship. It's going to need a mighty good pitch to convince the Cult. And I wouldn't put it past the Spree, rather, to set fire to the whole affair if they can. Fish casts a dour eye over the bar. It's like a garden on the near side of winter. Suffice it to say, kid, tension's real high. You'd be smart to keep your head down instead of looking for trouble. Let's ask about her. So what do I owe you for this, Fish? A cut of my takings? Hesh, no. I left my bounty hunting days back behind me. I owed your parents once. I don't like leaving debts unsettled, even to dead folks. They were decent people, South along. Watch you don't end up like them. You know, when you pay off your debts, the Derek still owns your name? I'm an Ick Derek now, or so they tell me. Yeah, that's some messed up bladderwrack, though. Yeah. Ask about Casio. You lined me up for work real fast. You some kind of mover here? Nah, I just know people and they know me. You don't need to go off to Casio, kid. I have enough work to keep you busy. I spent my childhood in a lumen pipe because of her. Now she's worth more money than either of us can count. Lumen is a biofuel harvested from the ocean floor, monopolized by the cult of Hesh and harvested by indentured labor. And she's more dangerous than either of us can figure. You go after her, she'll clap back with an eye for each kidney. I may have extras to spare, but you only got 2. I worked off a lifetime's debt in 10 years so I could just get back here and settle the score. If you were my friend, you wouldn't be telling me to drop it. Oh, Hesh, that ain't what I meant. You know it ain't. I'll give you a roof, a bed, and at least one good meal a day. You live the life the way you want. It's yours. I'll pay you back. I know. Let's get you to work. Get work from Fish. I got people in my pocket who owe me a favor. Orig, Beaner, and Quokey. They're easy people to find. Orig is a civilian heavy laborer. Bina is Jake's smuggler. And Quokey is Jake's dockhand. So I'm assuming Jake's is an area then. Tell them I sent you. That they can settle their tabs by giving you work. Get that done and I'll get you a plate of popped Oshnu eyes on the house. Oshnu is a domesticated giant snail used for food, transport, and entertainment. Bless your warty hide, Fish. I'll hold you to that. Okay, so here we have the main map where we get to choose the different things that we will pursue. Obviously, here is the Grog and Dog where we can buy drinks to restore Resolve. Resolve being our HP resource in negotiations. And healing items are also available from Fish. Not sure I need any of those yet, so let's have a look at these 3 different encounters. We have another day older and deeper in debt. Another day older and you're deeper in debt. St. Peter don't come in, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. Orig has gotten himself into some money trouble with Veep. Find a way for Orig to either make money or pay it back slowly. So as a reward, I get bonus money from this. So I get 60 shills and then I get a bonus 30. And I can pick a card to help on the quest at the start. I also have Hit the Beach. Bina wants you to clear out some beasties from a desolate beach so the Jakes can use it for smuggling. This will give us 65 shills. We can remove a card from one of our decks. Ooh, we can thin deck it up, apparently. And we also get the starting bonus of another card. And then the final one, Middleman. Convince this to complete his transaction with Quokey. You can also see the difficulty on the missions. And directly next to that, you can see the focus. So we have focus on combat and negotiation up here in the top. Focus on combat, and then focus on negotiation in the Middleman. And we even have the ability at the end of this mission to upgrade a negotiation or battle card. I like upgrading cards, but this has combat and negotiation, so I'll have the ability to demonstrate both of the different types of encounter you can get. Speaking of encounters, I just triggered a random one. On my way to the quest, I'm stopped on the road by Rug, whose face lights up as he sees me. It's not the reaction I'm used to. Rug is a civilian bartender. Now, you look hungry. Am I right? And I just got the thing for it. Delicious, non-toxic food. Food on the road, huh? What's the catch? Well, it's food on the road, just like you said. But I'm testing out a new recipe. I'll cook it if you'll eat it. Ooh, Rug will have diminished opinion of me if I decline the offer. So, I'm going to have Oshnu today anyway. So let's go for Pickled Talons. You feel something puncture your tongue before everything from your ears down suddenly goes numb. My mouth feels funny. Well, that's awful interesting. No refunds though. Ugh, that was awful. What? Well, not all my ideas can be keepers, I guess. You won't, tell anyone about this, will you? I'm trying to open my own restaurant in Murder Bay. So I can scold Rug. I'll feel better for scolding Rug, but he likely won't appreciate it. Or I can promise not to tell anyone. You'll feel the extent of the dubious meal, but Rug will have an improved opinion of me. Yeah, I like making friends. I'm not going to tell anyone. Mistakes happen. Just try it out on a yacht first next time. Don't know if a yacht has the palate for it, but it does get real lonely on the road. Rug clears up his gear and leaves you to rinse the taste from your mouth. I gain a negotiation card, Ulcer. So effectively, this is just going to be a card that I constantly draw into that's just taking up a space in my hand. But if I manage to play it, if I have 2 extra energy on any turn to play it, then I can destroy it permanently. Sorry, not energy, action. It's obviously like energy, mana, action, ember in another game. The resources are named different things, but they are similarly used for casting actions out of your hand. So I do apologize if I misspeak on those occasionally. Alright. Let's go to another day older and you're deeper in debt. Okay. Let's talk to Org. You meet Org. Day to you. Opportunity. Let's bring that up. You alright here? You look a little stressed. Do I? Probably because I'm going to be dead in a few hours. Huh? Really? Maybe. I don't know. Probably. I borrowed money from Veep, but the boss hasn't given me enough shifts to pay it back. Now I gotta convince Veep to give me more time. Assuming he doesn't kill me first. Unless you can help me out? What do you think? So this is the same screen that we've seen multiple different times before. I'm just gonna accept. Choose a card to add. Okay. This is actually probably a good time to go over the negotiation deck. Apply 3 Composure. Composure reduces resolve loss for 1 turn, so it is also similarly defense, but it's defense against resolve damage, which is your HP resource, as I mentioned before, in negotiations. And then we have Fast Talks, which are 1 action cost and 1 to 3 in terms of the damage that they will deal to the enemy's resolve. We have a Quick Thinking. Improvise a card from a pool of special cards. As you might imagine, that we're not going to really be able to see the other stuff of that yet, but it has the same kind of upgrade tree as the previous ones did. The previous improvised card, rather. Sal's Instincts. Insert Inspiration or Attitude into your hand. We'll hover over that for a second. Inspiration gains 2 Influence. Attitude gains 1 Dominance. Each of them are 0 action cost to deal 2 damage. So let's talk about what Influence is. Influence is the keyword for all diplomacy cards dealing max damage. So all of these will deal 3, definitely, if I have any influence. And influence is an argument with 2 resolve. We'll talk about different arguments and them having different resolves as we get into the first negotiation. Then we also have dominance. Hostility cards deal an additional +1 damage, and you reduce your stacks of dominance by 1 at the start of your turn. It is also an argument with 2 resolve. We have 2 hostility cards here and 3 diplomacy cards here. You can see by the color of the cards, these green ones are diplomacy, the purple ones are manipulate, and the red ones are hostility. And then we have Ulcer, which is a unique status. Oh, it apparently expires tomorrow morning as well, so I don't necessarily have to play it. I might be able to get away without it. Cool. So level the playing field. Gain 2 vulnerability. Vulnerability being all resolve loss is increased by 1, and it reduces by 1 stack at the start of your turn. And it says all cards deal +2 damage this turn. I also have Calling in All Favors. Double your influence. Gain 3 vulnerability. We just mentioned vulnerability before, and we mentioned influence before that. And then Build Rapport. Gain 2 influence and apply 3 composure to it. I'm going to take Build Rapport. I'm going to try and get some influence cards and try and build like an influence negotiation deck if that's possible here. Good luck. You'll probably need it out there. All right. Ooh, hang on. So Org has asked me to convince Veep to give him more favorable repayment terms, or I can convince Dell to give Org more shifts at the dig site. Yeah, I'm actually going to stay here and talk to Dell. Word is Dell fights for his workers, but nobody ever sees, but nobody's ever really selfless in the Griftlands, right? Come to talk business, I hope. So I can ask Dell to give Org more work, or I can beat up Dell. Because it's an aggressive action, like it's unwarranted at the moment, I'll gain the card aggressive if I do that. While this is in your hand, gain 1 less composure from manipulate cards. However, my negotiation here, I have 30 resolve, you have 20. Let's try that. You're Org's boss, right? What do you say to giving a bit more work? That lazy sod? Why in Hesh's bubbly name would I do that? Negotiation tutorial. You're about to negotiate for the first time. Would you like to see a quick tutorial? Yes.
Each turn, you draw 5 cards from the draw pile and use action points to play them. You win a negotiation by destroying your opponent's core resolve. Your resolve carries over between negotiations. If you have no resolve, you can no longer negotiate.
As you can see outlined here, the core resolve is the giant circle at the front of each person's arguments.
Your opponent's intents for the next turn are shown in their inner ring.
As you can see here outlined, the inner ring has the different intents just circling around on it.
You and your opponent can deploy arguments to help win the negotiation. Arguments can be attacked or defended like the core resolve.
So arguments exist out here on the outer circle with your core resolve. They can also be attacked, as the game was just mentioning, and defended, just like your core resolve. They typically provide some sort of a continuous effect. Okay, so I have my core argument here, which I will gain 1 composure at the start of each turn as a result of Sal's Savvy. And my enemy here has Delegator, which is at the start of Del's turn, insert a random task card into my deck. So that's a bit annoying. We can also see that they have the intent to attack for 4, and I can only defend for 1 right now because I have the 1 composure from my own core argument. So I'm going to apply 3 composure to myself. Then I will build rapport. That gives me an argument on the outside here, as you can see, which is influence. The count is 2, so I have 2 stacks of influence. And any stack of influence will allow all of my diplomacy cards to deal maximum damage. And then I'll play Sal's Instincts. Insert inspiration or attitude into your hand. I'm going to go for inspiration because I'm going to try and go with a diplomatic resolve here. Play that and expend it. Oh, sorry, I play this one on the enemy because it does damage as well. So now I have 4 stacks of influence, as you can see over there. So then on the enemy turn, they resolve their intents, and then their core resolve is going to give me Night Shift. If you gain influence, destroy this and draw a card. Unplayable. I don't think I have much more influence gain in my deck at this point, though. So you have a 1 damage intent that is trying to attack my my resolve here in the back line. I could let that take the damage. It does have 2 health. So it has 2 resolves, so I'm fine. And then you have this intent dealing 3 to me. You also have another intent, which is will apply composure to a random argument. You only have 1 argument out at the moment, so you're going to defend that effectively, it looks like. Okay, let's give 3 composure to myself, and then just fast talk twice for 6 damage. You can see they're doing maximum damage because I have an influence out. Beautiful. If any argument or bounty is dismissed, destroy this and draw a new card. Well, I don't really have anything to dismiss here. Oh, that's a lot of intents. Okay, so you've got a 1 damage and a 3 damage, both of them targeting my core resolve. You've got an argument that you're about to deploy this turn. You're also about to defend with the composure to a random argument. And then in 3 turns time, you're going to deploy a new argument. Got it. I can't really do too much other than fast talk, threaten. Ooh, maximum damage on that one. And then compose myself. The argument they played is called Suspicion, which is diplomacy cards deal -1 damage. That's not good for me. I use a lot of diplomacy cards. Especially if the enemy's defending for 2 each turn, I need to kill Suspicion early here. So I'm going to detect on myself for the defense, and then I'll fast talk twice at this Suspicion just to get rid of it. Also, when I've destroyed an enemy's argument, they will respond. So I destroyed their suspicion of me, and they've responded with, "You seem trustworthy enough." Del is still holding out for a better argument, though. Alright, come on, damage. That's not damage. Very much not damage. Inspiration or attitude into my... Ugh. Excess damage dealt to your arguments will also then be dealt to you as well, by the way. So if this only takes the 1 damage from Del, I'll then take 3 afterwards. I'm gonna purge the ulcer there, just get it out of the deck. Didn't really have too much I could have done that turn anyway. Okay, so the enemy has generated an argument, which is not an argument, sorry, it's part of their personality. Impatience. Del's intents and arguments now deal +2 damage, and Del's arguments deploy with +2 resolve, so that makes them healthier. 2, 3. I'm gonna be slightly short on the ability to... Alright, hang on. I'm gonna gain influence. This might draw me a card that's useful, because it'll kill the night shift and draw me a card. That's not going to be good enough. Just short. So I'm going to take 4 damage past my block here. Ow. At least give me the damage to kill the delegator this turn, please. That's just short. Suspicion deployed with with 6 resolve as well, so killing that is way less effective than just focusing on the composure now. I also now have personality fatigued. Cards can no longer gain EXP for this negotiation. Otherwise, you could just sit in a negotiation for a huge period of time, just treading water while you get experience on every card until you level them all up. Please, just give me more damage. Stop trashing my deck. That'll do. That's fine. Bye. Okay, negotiation successful. I can choose 1 of 3 negotiate cards to keep. Evil Eye, Overbear, and Brainstorm. Evil Eye is the damage of the next card when played is doubled, expires at the end of the turn. Overbear is attack a random target once for each enemy argument and bounty. Ooh. That's interesting. And Brainstorm, draw 3 cards. Overbear is a really, really good way to deal with enemies that have a lot of arguments out. So I find that appealing. I find it too appealing to turn down. I'm going to take Overbear. Orig's desperate. And I hear desperation works like a charm for productivity. Don't you want your employees who are too afraid to talk back or complain? That would be nice. We got an extra shipment that needs taking care of, but most want to work after dark. Say it's too dangerous or some such. Sure, tell Oig to get started. It can take triple shifts until we meet quarter. Excellent. I'm sure he'll be grateful. Can I also go and do the other resolution? No, I can't do the other resolution as well. Okay, so I effectively had to choose between negotiation or battling in this. That's okay. Greetings once again. Tell Orig I got him more ships. Hey, I solved your problem. Del has agreed to give you more ships. Not only will you be able to make your payments, but you won't have time to rack up any more debts. Ugh, that's great, but for some reason I don't feel happy. Can't imagine why not. Well, thanks all the same. I better report to Del before he gives my ships away, though. I get paid 60 shills. Shills are the currency of Havaria. And I also get 30 extra shills as part of the quest bonus. Interesting. Well met, Sal. So if I give 100 shills to my friend, I will improve his opinion of me, change him from liking me to loving me. And if I do so, I will get a permanent bonus, a social boon called Heavy Lifting. At the start of each battle, gain 4 defense and 2 temporary power. So 4 defense will effectively mean on the first turn of each battle, at the moment at the very least. These are battles, not negotiates, that this is going to be working in. But at the first turn of those battles, I will have a little bit of extra defense. And the extra power is attack card damage being increased by 1, will give me the opportunity to just attack a bunch on the first turn. That's appealing. That's really appealing, I gotta say. I'm going to give you 100 shills. I have a little something for you. A wise investment, friend. Aurog loves you. I managed to capture his loyalty by giving him a big gift, and I get heavy lifting, the boon as I just mentioned prior. Alright, let's open up the map and see where else we can go. So there's a challenging quest over here, Sing for Your Supper. Zeta is trying to get Vis to turn informant. Vis is looking for help to get out of the arrangement. But you can get a graft if you succeed that. I don't think I'm currently capable of taking that on though. It's a focus on negotiation. My negotiation deck is fine. It's not super strong. It's fine. Rug special noodles. Rug is cooking up special fortifying noodles. They'll increase my max health, so I can go there instead. I could also go to a meditation spot where I can gather my thoughts and strengthen my resolve. So this is healing. Or there are 2 different quests over here I could go for. Alongwe needs you to safely escort one of the smugglers to the buyer. And the summoning. Helit needs you to deliver an Admiralty summons to Bax. He isn't going to take it willingly. I'm going to start by going to Rug's special noodles here and getting some max HP. Hey, Rug. Rug is happy to see you. Hey, Sal. You got a refined palate, right? Want to try some of my VIP noodles? They're extra spicy. Toughens up your insides. Eat the noodles. They're special noodles only available to VIPs, and it'll permanently increase my max health by 5. With the slop we ate on the derrick, most of my taste buds have been irradiated. Bring on the heat. It's the only way I feel alive. Rug smiles proudly. You won't be disappointed. Rug wasn't kidding. The heat blasts your nostrils and leaves your pores gasping for air. Woo! There's my extra max HP. Let's go back out into the open map. And we can see now that we just have these 2 missions available. I don't really need to heal my health or resolve, which is one of the rewards of the summoning quest over here. So instead, I'm going to go for travel insurance. Sitting conspicuously by the side of the road, you notice an old shrine. It doesn't look Hessian. Again, Hessian is the cult of Hesh, the dominant religion in Havaria, whose adherents worship Hesh, an abyssal jellyfish god. For some reason, I read jellyfish as tentacle. It's because of the word abyssal. I'm just expecting tentacle afterwards. Yeah, that makes sense. So I can make an offering to remove a chosen negotiation card, or I can meditate by the shrine to upgrade a chosen negotiation card. I'm going to upgrade a chosen negotiation card. Maybe Overbear, because we just got that. You can see already some of the filled-in pips of experience on these cards. Overbear takes a lot of experience to fill, but so does Quick Thinking. I'm going to take Overbear, I think, here. So I can attack a random target once and draw a card for each enemy, argument, and bounty. Or I can attack a random target once for each enemy and bounty and increase the damage range to 1 to 5. Ooh, draw a card. I usually have 3 cards I want to play in my hand at this point. What does draw get us back to? Let's actually cancel that upgrade at the moment and have a look at Quick Thinking. So this will give me upgraded special cards or boosted. You know what? Yeah, let's go with this. Let's go with this first. I'm going to upgrade it to give me upgraded special cards rather than a larger selection of special cards there. You place a hand on the worn pedestal and take a moment to reflect on here and now. On the here and now, rather. I guess even old guards die eventually, huh? So surprisingly, the notion brings you comfort. You spend the rest of your walk mulling it over. And the rest of the walk takes us back to the Grog and Dog. It's the Grog and Dog, right? Yeah, the Grog and Dog. Okay. So Alongwe wants to hire us, but we're going to do that in the next episode. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Griftlands. I would also like to say at this point that this series is sponsored by Klei, and there is a link in the description down below where you can purchase the game on the Epic Store. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we will see you next time.